John,
Yes. Hi, how
when
you
are we
doing?
starting?
About 8 minutes.
Okay, I'm all set.
Okay. How you doing today?
Pretty good, John. I just came back uh, from the Saheli Wildlife Reserve.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
Okay.
Yeah, you were just there last night.
I was there today morning.
Yeah. I got screwed up. We just had a webcast with James Liu, and it's the first time I've ever seen Zoom malfunction. I was in the webcast. I wondered, where is everyone? And no one came in, and I checked everything and everything was working. I was giving the link out, but somehow people got a different link or something. I don't know what happened, but we finally patched it together. And James wanted to tape it because he's doing a series,
Ah,
so it makes a series complete. He's doing a second series.
me and James, we used to teach together at the Walter Dandy meetings from 2011, 2012.
Oh,
So
you're
it's
kidding. Way back then, really?
yeah. Yeah, so
Wow.
we used to teach together for Walter Dandy in 2011, 2012, and 2013.
Wow.
That's almost 10 years back.
That's amazing.
So
Because
James was in,
James is like you. He's really dedicated to teaching online. He really is.
so
He's
he
one
was
of,
in Rogers at that time.
oh yeah, he really
I,
is
I
dedicated
think
to
he's
teaching.
still in Rogers.
He's in Rutgers. I don't know if he's broadcasting with Dandy anymore, but
No, I don't think so. Okay. Huh?
we got 5 minutes.
There are 8 minutes to start. So just wait, darling. I'll just call it. Okay. Okay.
We had a connection with Italy at the last minute. I'm sure you know Dr. Carino. No, it was with I forget his name, Mauricio from Ancona.
Uh-huh.
Do you know Mauricio? I'm sorry, I don't have his first name. Hold on.
Maurizio Lacangeli.
Yeah, long. It begins with I. It's a long name.
Yeah, Maurizio Lacangeli. I know him.
Yeah. We just threw a webcast together. And the problem like with most of universities and stuff, the people that work in IT, they really don't know Zoom. And they were surprised they could link their Zoom to YouTube. I said, "Wait, that's a major point of it, putting it on the internet." And they said, "We don't need that to put it on the internet. We just need Zoom." I said, "No. You gotta have Zoom. You gotta have Facebook. You gotta have some." Anyways, we got that on. I was really happy to get Italy. I'm trying to get, because as you know, there's certain parts of the globe that really don't participate much. Germany, I've had a real hard time getting German neurosurgeons.
I can get my Italian fellows, Andrea and Giacomo. Both of them are very, very good, and both of them are young neurosurgeons. So they had spent some time with me for skull base and vascular. So I can get them connected to you.
Yeah, I would like to start an Italian channel. That's one area we really haven't penetrated. Latin America is doing well. And yeah, they want you to do a webcast on cysternostomy in Venezuela with Eugene, the gentleman that was with you. Remember Eugene?
Yeah, Eugenio.
Yeah, he was discussing cysternostomy, and I said, "Why don't we get together live?" He said, "Yeah, let's get together live." So we'll arrange something. see what else is happening. Yeah, I'm finding
a lot of guys want to join. A lot of guys want to join. I'm not able to get this link to them. For some reason, I'm not able to. I mean, a lot
yeah,
of my
that's
friends are
weird.
asking.
Okay, I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you the link. The links in
You think
all
you
the
can
posts.
send it to me on mail, John, so that I can send the link to
Yeah,
my Russian friends and
I don't know
the.
what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna send it to your WhatsApp. Okay, there, I just sent that link. Are they saying they're having a hard time getting in?
Well, I'm trying to give it now.
Okay,
So
okay.
when do we start?
Anytime. We can wait
Okay,
a few. Want to wait a few minutes?
I'm ready, John. I'm ready. So
Okay,
I've got the link. So I'm just sending it to these guys.
okay. Yeah, I'll wait a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, Iype, do you want to start?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning. This is Dr. John Bennett broadcasting from Miami Beach, home of Neurosurgical TV. Today we start a series of neurosurgery innovations with an innovator himself, Iype Cherian, who's now in Kerala, India. And we'll let Iype take over. Welcome, Iype.
Hi, John. I think I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay. I'll share my screen. Right, here we go.
Uh, Perfect. Okay.
Right, so, after cystinostomy and after the broadcasting, in fact, many of you wouldn't know that John and me started off broadcasting with neurosurgical TV way before even COVID. So I would say that was another, online education was another thing that we started. Cystinostomy was one thing we started, then online education along with John. John was in Nepal for an year. This is way before the COVID. Huh? So, and then when we started up, there were not much takers, but then COVID happened, and how everybody is into online education right now. It's I would say it's really changed the way that neurosurgery education has gone, and I would say in the future of neurosurgery, this is definitely a big chapter. How online education came to be, and everybody's information was available to everybody. So that's definitely one part, one chapter, one big chapter for the future of neurosurgery. Well, for trauma, we started cystinostomy. Then I've been thinking as to what is the future for neurosurgery. You look at it right now, we are operating still with Bronze Age tools and clips and MRI films, mostly MRI films, and some navigation in a different screen. While the technology, if you look at the rest of the parts, rest of the world, I mean, for example, gaming or war, for example, in defense or airlines, the future is already there. I mean, you look at a fighter pilot, or you look at a drone or a fighter pilot, he's got all the tech that's available. But for a neurosurgeon, robotics is just getting into the OR, virtual reality, AI, mixed reality. All these are still strange terms in neurosurgical parlance. So this is what we are setting out to correct. And another thing we want to do is that there's a huge inequality in neurosurgery right now. The tech, the advancements are happening in places where there are only less than 1/6 of the population. For example, Europe, United States, and so on. While the places which have 5/6 of the population are still not very good in terms of technical neurosurgery, or in terms of tech, or in terms of wanting to advance. This is something that's been bothering me, and that's why I think the young neurosurgeons of developing countries has to be leaders for the future of neurosurgery. So what's the cutting edge neurosurgery at the moment? We have intraoperative imaging, that is the ultrasound, CT, and MRI. We have navigation. We have a microscope with robotic functions. Everybody knows it's a Kinebo. We have endoscope with holders, not really robotic. We have neuromonitoring. We have handheld tools and instruments. We have, of course, the 3-point fixators still being used, Lila retractors, the hand rests, the surgeon's chairs with integrated controls for microscope, bipolar, DSA guided neurointerventions. I have to say a few names. Yasagil brought neurosurgery to the 70s. In 70s, neurosurgery arrived from, he is definitely one of the greatest people who influenced neurosurgery. He got neurosurgery into the microneurosurgical era. And there are a few people I would like to mention. One is Axel Pernesky. So he got neurosurgery into the minimally invasive era. So we have his students like Charlie Teo and others who's guided neurosurgery into that minimally invasive era, which is not really taken off, but it's kind of a concept that minimally invasive. So new tools, endoscopes and exoscopes and so on. It's coming in. But another thing which is really advanced within neurosurgery is the DSA-guided neurointerventions. Now, what is the future? What exactly are we looking at? Now, I'd classify it in 4 ways. That is the integrated intraoperative imaging. What does it mean? So right now we are doing it in Karat. We have a 192 slice intraoperative CT. So we were not happy with the 32 slice usual ones, intraop CT. So we got Siemens to get one custom made for us. This is a 192 slice CT on rails. It comes on the rails, finishes the CT and goes back in 4.5 minutes. And as soon as it does the CT, I have a sterile mouse pad where I can reconstruct the entire thing in VR, and I can look through it. How much tumor I have removed, and if I've clipped, what are the vessels? Are there any vessels in the clip, and how is the clip looking, and things like that. And then we are integrating the navigation. We're integrating neuromonitoring. We are even working on integrating a neuroanatomy atlas with AI, so that if the neurosurgeon is not sure as to what one place is, it would tell you this is near the cavernous sinus. This is the cavernous carotid. So this is where the tumor is, or this is where so AI. And now you may think this is far future. No, this tech is available. So, and then we're trying to take off the entire microscope, the eyepiece. The exoscope brings the screen. It's going to take off the screen as well. It will all be in mixed reality classes where you can see the exoscope, the integrated endoscope, the navigation, the monitoring. For example, you could see the tracks once you monitor, once you stimulate. The stimulator is navigated, and you can see the tracks which have been stimulated and which have been identified. They would be superimposed as tracks on your exoscope screen. Imagine that. So then you will have the robotic endoscope, which is integrated with the endoscope. It's controlled by the joystick and gaze control, voice commands. And then you would have robotic tools for drilling. It's already, we are looking at the Eindhoven Medical Robotics. We are looking at robotic tools for drilling, CUSA, laser. We're already using laser in Karate, and it's truly amazing how, for some things, how laser is so important. So we are looking at point hemostasis with AI pattern recognition, so which means that the moment the tumor starts bleeding, the AI identifies with the visual pattern recognition where is the bleeding, and the laser, without even you knowing it, the laser is going to coagulate that part without, you don't have to be involved as a surgeon. So it's happening in the background. Now, the things are surgeon's chair, the handrest, the table integrated with controls for instruments, single position, side position, head holder, so you can sit under the patient's head. And the position can be changed safely and ergonomically, and it's linked with the surgeon. So the table and the surgeon's chair is so linked that you can have way more different positions than what it is present. At what is it at present? It is like, it's going to be, the whole thing is going to be like a cockpit. So this is the neurosurgical suite that we have imagined, and then we are looking to make it a reality. So don't think this is far into the future. Within a year, I'll be showing you this. The intraop CT is already ready. The many other things I should soon be showing you. Now, I think it's time for the DSA also to, to go into oblivion right now. I mean, very soon the DSA, you will have a very high resolution con beam CT with rod map and VR recon. There can be catheter robots which drive the catheter, where the surgeon can sit outside the room and you will be inside the vessel. The surgeon will have a view inside the vessel. The rod map will be inside the vessel. And with a high precision joystick, you can be inside the vessel and you can reach anywhere. The surgeon can even be remote. Okay, you could have a surgeon, a slave master system where another surgeon from remote can take over with controls. And then AI can help you right in the procedure. The AI can help you with decisions, with pattern recognition, the vasculature, and data from all over the world. The AI can tell this is the best solution, perhaps. So we're going to show you a ruptured, unruptured cavernous aneurysm, which presented with strokes. So this is done with an exoscope. So this is, again, the exoscopes, as I said, is the immediate future. I mean, so I'm going to show you a few things. So you can see that's a ST. And on the ST, what you're seeing is the vasa vasorum of the ST. How many times with the microscope have you seen the vasa vasorum of the ST? It's a 0.7 or a 0.8 millimeter vessel. So how many times are you seeing that? So you're going to see anastomosis at the highest zoom right now. Well, with Mitaka, you can do it, but this exoscope, the kind of ergonomics that you have, I mean, we've done anastomosis on the microscope with the microscope for almost 14 years now, and I would say that the exoscope gives it a completely new angle. And you put about 6 to 8 stitches on one side. We're talking about 0.6 to 0.8 millimeter vessels. And once you do that, there'll be no leak, and you can confirm it with an ICG, which is with the scope. This is a parasagittal tumor that we operated, again with the exoscope. I mean, it's not a parasite, the corpus callosal epidermoid. So let me show you very small craniotomy involving both the A2. So what I wanted you to see is not this. What I wanted you to see is when the robotic exoscope and the robotic endoscope holder is used together, something that is which is present in a microscope, but it's primitive. The kibo with the kinebo is present, but it is a primitive way of doing it compared to the exoscope with the endoscope. So you will see it very soon now. See, now you can see with the exoscope, I can't see the tumor, and with the endoscope, you can see the endoscope going in, a 45-degree endoscope, and you can see the tumor there. And there's a vessel there, and I'm able to take off this tumor with the endoscope, with the exoscope showing where the endoscope is, and the endoscope showing where the tumor is. And these are on one screen, and the endoscope is 3D as well. This is Einstein Vision. It's a laparoscope being held on a robotic robotic holder. Okay, we have the Pernesky scopes as well, the 45 degrees, and we have the 3D endoscope as well. So this is the Einstein Vision. So you'll very soon see how it is set up. You see the exoscope right now, my theater. And then you see the endoscope holder, the robotic endoscope holder. You can see the endoscope being held in the same field. The screen is shared. That's an endoscope holder. That's a Franca Amica robot. Now, the Indian company called Sanma has developed another endoscopic robotic holder. We call it the Santwana. We have the robotic exoscope, which we call the Yoko, the Sanma Yoko and the Sanma Santwana. So we have EOS, which is the Esculap robotic exoscope. We'd like to show you some of the other gadgets in theater. This is called the Fortis Tremano. It's with one touch you can change it anywhere, keep it anywhere you want. So it can hold your retractors, it can be your handrest, it can hold another robot, and this is the robotic endoscopic holder. So this doesn't collapse on you after you release the buttons. It's called anti-gravity buttons, and then that's a neuropilot attached to its end, and with the neuropilot the endoscope can go in. So these are a few of the things that we use in theater along with the exoscope and navigation. And this is something we started with. This is two universal robots attached to an endoscope. A navigation, hacked navigation, and a webcam. This is what we started this project. Very low-cost project in Alicante. And you can see how it has visual recognition. It can, with head movements, it can move. Most of the exoscopes today haven't done what we've done in 2016. So you can kind of see where the future is leading to. So these two robots. And with this, I think I have given a glimpse into the future. We'll go sessions by session. We'll focus on the exoscope. Next session, I'm going to focus on the exoscopes and the robotic endoscope holder, and what the exoscope can do compared to the microscope, and how would be the robotic endoscope holder be a great accessory, as well as a tool which can be standalone as an endoscope, for example, ventricular endoscopy and skull-based endoscopy. So how it can be a standalone tool, and what's the importance for a 3D endoscope? I mean, many of the people still now, they are still into 2D endoscopes. So we're looking at 3D endoscopes and how is it important. This is what we're going to talk the next time. So thank you very much, John. If there are any questions, I'd be very happy to answer the questions.
Yeah, great, Iype. I tell you, I'm not a neurosurgeon, but it seems exciting to me, the places you guys are going to go. And I'm looking forward to really seeing where we go. Okay, any comments or questions? I know Dr. Parekh probably has some. Are you there, Dr. Parekh?
Yeah, John,
Welcome.
I'm here. Well, fantastic journey you are traveling through. I must say, wonderful. It's a dream to see all these things coming up in our neurosurgical life. And wonderful, your mind is working wonderfully in innovative techniques and to ease out the surgical procedures. And I'm sure it will improve the results much, much more than what we are achieving now. Wonderful. Let's learn more
Thank
and
you.
more about it. I would love to come and visit you sometime
You're
and see
welcome
what.
anytime.
Yeah. No, no, you shown last time also, earlier also I've seen it, and I am really impressed. It is like a mesmerizing something where the robot comes and you are operating from somewhere else. Something very interesting and innovative. And this is some new thing which I learned today is 194 slides of the CT scan, which I never knew it. So so far wonderful. So this must be first time in India, at least 194 slides.
It's the first time in the world, I believe, that
Oh,
Siemens
yeah.
have custom made it for us. So it took us
Oh,
one and a
wow,
half
wow, wow,
years.
wow, wow. Wow.
And but now the thing is, it's installed now. So when you come to
Installed.
Karat next time, so I can show
Yeah.
it how it is.
Wonderful. And this all this Esculap has made all these gadgets for you. Superb, superb.
And now we are looking at an Indian company who's making exoscopes. This is Sanma, and their initial, we had a microscope from them. So now they have made an exoscope, 3D 4K exoscope, which is excellent and probably 1/5 of the price or something. And then they've also made a robotic endoscope holder, which is also
Yeah, I
very,
saw
very
you
good.
using that. Yeah, in one of the
No,
meetings. Yes.
that's something that we designed from Franca Amica, but
Uh-huh.
the endoscope holder that I mean, the next series I'll be showing the Sanma's endoscope holder as
Okay,
well.
okay.
So that's
Because I remember.
excellent choice for all the developing countries because the prices are way less, and the quality, I must say, is really up there. So
Okay.
really looking forward for agents to get
I
familiarized.
saw your transclival approach for one meningioma. You were doing a front of the ventral brainstem tumor, and you
Yes,
were
yes.
using that. Yeah, I saw that, and wonderful. That was something great, where the basilar
Thank you.
was pushed to one side. I remember very well, very well. No,
Thank
superb.
you.
You are doing very well. I'm sure you had a wonderful trip of Leh Ladakh.
Yes, yes. We just went there with the family. We had a
Yeah,
great time.
yeah, yeah. I saw some great people with you. Yeah.
Well, with Emmanuel going to the Congo, I really am looking forward. We're going to be interviewing neurosurgeons that use the exoscope under the direction of Manuel. And he said they really liked it, right? You probably talked to Emmanuel about the
Yes, yes.
Congolese neurosurgeons that got their first look at the exoscope, and we'll be having them online to testify.
Yes,
So things like this will bring in doctors that have used it and get their impression, because we want the truth. We want to see how it works. And neurosurgeons want to see how it works. They want to see that the price range is within means. It's not just some expensive machinery that's going to be used in the United States or Europe. Like
yeah.
you said,
So
5/6 of the world.
this is precisely why I would like to team up with the Indian and Chinese companies who can make things at a much higher standard than they used to, and they can, for example, the cars have also changed so much. I mean, earlier we were always bent on German cars, but now today Tata has taken over Land Rover Jaguar, so the Tata cars are also the standards have really, really gone up. So it's the same way manufacturing in India and China. I was in China the last month, and the manufacturing in China is truly amazing. Both these countries, they can make things at a much, much lower price, and that's more suited to these countries. So, and at a very high level. So we're looking at doing things like that, catering for 5/6 of the population, because German manufacturer, the instrument, it's fantastic, but it's not looking very practical in terms of price for Africa, Latin America, or India, China, which is where 5/6 of the population resides.
Did you go to factories in China, or you go to the companies that made the exoscope, or you talk to them?
I talked to this company called Sinovation.med, and their company is in Beijing, and I talked with their founder Liu Wenbo, and we had a meeting with the Beijing Tsinghua University with this company, and the quality at which they are manufacturing. They have the laser ablation, they have navigation, they have an exoscope ES1. So the quality is amazing. And so is Sanma. The Sanma is probably not yet there, the Indian company. With the exoscope, the quality of the exoscope is fantastic. The 3D 4K camera is fantastic. So we have a lot of hope for these companies flourishing into, beautiful exoscope manufacturing units. And with the kind of experience that we have in India, China, or Africa, with the kind of number of patients we have, we can give much more better inputs for these companies, because we have the number of patients and we have the inputs from many of these guys who have extensive experience.
Okay. What was the
It will be
reaction?
nice to, it will be great to see the anatomy integrated scopes and microscopes and exoscopes, because that will be the something roadmaps attached to their this thing, and they are guiding you where are you and what you are doing and how much the blood loss is going to be, and it's wonderful something.
Already we are trying to put AI in where we can integrate a neurosurgical atlas in VR. So the medical holodeck has already a atlas in VR. So mixed reality glasses can help us to integrate that to the scope, and in a rough manner, at least we'll know where you are. I mean, when you're doing a pituitary or something, you will know where you are in relation to the carotid, where you are in relation to the. So the AI, which has an atlas, will identify portions of the scan as carotid, segmented portions of the scan. So we are working on this, and it's truly amazing how we can provide this hypervision for the surgeons.
Wow. You mean with a tilt of the head, you're able to have an anatomy identified?
Yes. So
in the field
I can
of
have
operation.
I can have you doing the neurosurgery, because
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
it'll tell you where to do the craniotomy, and the robot will be doing the craniotomy, and then it'll show you where the tumor is, and it'll tell you these are the tools that are good because this is the consistency of the tumor. And you put in those tools, you draw out an area where you want the tumor removed between these firewalls. The robot goes in, the tumor tunneler removes all the tumor. There's a little bit of tumor left, a capsule is left, and then you can just laser it. The patient comes on one day, goes the same day, probably procedure under local anesthesia. So this is what the future is going.
Yeah, if someone listened to you right now a few years ago, they would think you're crazy. They would think you're a lunatic. You mean your anatomy is going to be identified by computer, by the scope? That's amazing.
This is the future, John, and we have to look into it, because how much of a surgeries I do with the present tech, it's never going to get me into the future. And in my life, I have decided that I'm not going to put a world record in the number of surgeries done with a primitive mode. This is not what I want. What I want is to look into the future. Maybe, I mean, as you said, people are going to call me a lunatic. I mean, this is exactly what happened when I started with cystonostomy. But now things are changing. So I'm sure very, very soon, within 10 years, whatever I've said will be there. And that's what we are working into.
Yeah, I'm a believer, because they went to the Congo, showed the neurosurgeons, and they were impressed. And it's within their cost budget is the most important thing. So, okay, any more questions from the panelists? For Iype?
I will show you the facial nerve then very easily.
Yeah.
Facial nerve. I'm very scared of facial nerve when I'm doing an acoustic trial. Just if we can see, as when Professor Sami operates, he sees the facial nerve before even he reaches to the tumor. I mean, something like that. If the anatomy can help us, there is a facial nerve here, and now you have to go between the facial nerve here and fifth, eighth nerve, ninth nerve, and you remove the tumor. Of course, the facial is the biggest challenge according to me, still. Yeah.
Well, if you do just intratumoral decompression till the last bit, it's not going to be a problem. I mean, if you take the arachnoid off to one side, always the arachnoid, you stay within that arachnoid. The facial nerve is not going to be much of an issue. So what I do is I'd not push, or I never pull or push. So maybe one of the acoustics I can show. We always preserve the eighth nerve in our place. So yes, I understand. It is sometimes a big problem.
No, it's not every day you come across. If you know that there is a facial nerve there, then you're more easy. That's what I'm trying to say. And the technique, we are all following the same what you are describing. But something facial nerve, if you can see on anatomy when you're up, that's something very interesting. And most of the time when you are debulking, you come to see very late the facial nerve.
Yeah, true.
It's not.
So one of the things that we are now doing is we're trying to navigate the stimulator so that, and the stimulator with AI, we should have a stimulator which generates multiple amounts of currents by touching at different areas, and then map all the responses and tell us clearly, this is the direction, this is where the facial nerve is going to be. And that image is going to be put into your exoscope so that you know that it is not a stimulation response or anything. You know that this is going to be the facial nerve. Okay, this is the projected course of the facial nerve. And that is by neuro monitoring. So it's navigated neuro monitoring. This is another thing. I mean, I have signed an NDA for it, but what the hell? So I'm just telling you that this is the future.
Wonderful to have that kind of a navigation with a,
It looks exciting and it
Wonderful.
looks bright. It looks bright. Okay, any more questions before we close? Last chance to ask Iype a question. You can text it too if you want. Yeah, okay, we're looking forward. So next week, same time, same channel. What will be the topic?
Exoscopes and robotic endoscope holders.
Okay, great. We look forward to learning about this. Great. Okay, thanks everybody for coming, and thanks, Iype.
Yeah. See you then, John. See you.
See you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Yeah.